Welcome to the space for everyone, Gokul.
Oh my god, I love the new setup.
Right? I love the new hoodie you have.
Beach, please. I got it from Printful actually.
Oh, I got this shirt from Printful as well.
And this is not a sponsor plug at all.
Not at all.
Ciao, Baltic babes!
This is Brigita.
And Gokul.
And today we're going to talk about
Is Delulu the SOLULU?
How Delulu do you think you are?
Oh, I think I'm definitely a little Delulu. I wouldn't say a lot because I am a little bit self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm actually very critically self-aware. I kind of overanalyze everything I do, the way I present myself and everything. But at the same time, I'm also Delulu enough to think that everything's gonna happen for me. You know, as long as I show up the way I need to, things will work out.
The universe has your back.
Yes.
Yeah, you manifest. Yeah, I think I'm too self-aware sometimes. I wish I was more Delulu at times. But in general, in my career, it's so, like, your Delulu can make such a big difference in your stage presence, in your confidence. Like, fake it till you make it. I guess the first Delulu was fake it till you make it,
But
right?
I feel like that is a big thing in like any camera-facing industry. When we talk about anything that requires you to be on stage or anything where you need to be filmed, requires you to actually have that energy.
When you have to perform.
Yes, anything. Perform in any circumstance, you need to have that energy and that sort of, oh, I am here, I am the thing, and everybody's here for me. That sort of like delusional energy, but it's also confidence. It can be confused.
Yeah, I mean, when you are a performer, I think you have to be sort of Delulu, because as I was talking to Gokul the other day about this thing that performers have to remember, that performing is not normal. And our ancestry brain is thinking that we're going into a danger zone or we're gonna get killed. Because back in the day, when you didn't have people around you, you didn't have protection. So in the wild, you'll get eaten by a lion or something if you're alone. So you need to have the acceptance of other people. So when you go on stage, that's why you get stage fright, because you don't want to be thrown out of the community, right? But right now it's not like that. But our ancestry brain still has this thought, oh, I'm gonna get killed.
Because if I mess up, I'm going to be cast out, that kind of idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. So you have to have some delusion to go on stage and be like, yeah, it's gonna be fine.
I never know how you do it, Brigita, because I've seen you perform live, I've seen videos of you sing, and I could never. Like, my biggest fear is going on stage, memorizing something that I'm supposed to present, and completely forgetting the words.
I can't really explain it. I haven't got the words.
That's my biggest nightmare.
Well, I also have a bad stage fright. It's really bad.
But you perform all the time.
Yeah, that's, you know, everybody gets nervous. Everyone. It's just a matter of how you control yourself during that, right? And when you perform so frequently, you start to realize, oh, I have to do this. When I'm stressed, I have to do this. Or I go, like, for example, yesterday I had a performance where I felt like my voice couldn't do the thing that it was supposed to do. And I've been in the same situation before. So I'm like, yeah, you've been here. What did you do? Right?
So you're talking about self-awareness now.
Yeah.
You have the self-awareness in the moment to think, I've been here before, I've dealt with it before, and I will deal with it again. Okay.
But to go on the stage, you have to be Delulu enough to be like, oh, I'm gonna nail this.
Okay, yeah.
I'm good at this.
That makes sense.
This is gonna be amazing. People gonna watch me and they're gonna accept me, even though you feel like, oh my God, they're gonna cast me out.
Be gone, fuck!
Have you ever been so Delulu that it kind of got you in trouble?
Ooh. Yeah, with boyfriends.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Explain. Spill. Let's go.
I mean, here's the thing. When you start to date someone, you start to idolize them. And
Yes.
you know, there are some parts that you don't know. And so you put like your ideas about in between those things that you don't know. So
I've said the exact same thing before.
yeah, you said that into a men episode.
In the men episode, yeah.
I had this thing with actually a bunch of boys that I've dated.
What did he say?
Men, sorry. Boys.
The boys, guys. Brigita's been dating boys.
Cancelled. Anyway, no, I've been dating men. But they are kind of boyish. And I saw a potential. So I fell in love with the potential.
People
That's my
always say
Delulu.
don't do that.
Yes, exactly. So one of my ex-boyfriends is working in a warehouse now. So I had a different vision of him. I had a different idea about him. So I saw a different potential. And that's my Delulu. That I saw something that was not there. Do you know somebody that has succeeded with their Delulu mindset?
I mean, I feel like we're both succeeding with our Delulu mindset.
We are.
We're out here being like, yes, we are so funny, so entertaining that people want to watch our podcast and
But
people
they
want to
do.
listen to us.
But they do.
I mean,
They do, right?
I hope you do. But yes, I would say, what was her name? Gwyneth Paltrow?
Oh, yes.
She's the one who has the Goop company. And
Right.
she has all these like magical healing things and like weird.
She's wonderful.
She is wonderful.
She's living in her Hollywood bubble, you know?
Mhm.
She's not like aware about things in the world. But also you have to be Delulu to be an actress also, as we talked about earlier, that you have to have some Delulu mindset to be a performer. So she is a performer. Actors are also performers. So she had this thing before, but like she had the money for it. She had the Hollywood contacts, you know, so people were
It's also about notoriety. Like people know you, people trust you.
yeah, true.
And that actually brings me to, oh my god, the Hawk Tour girl.
You gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing.
What?
Do you know the Hawk Tour
Yes,
girl?
but like how did that?
Because she got famous on TikTok and
Yeah.
she got this notoriety and fame and people were like giving her attention and she ended up scamming them. Well, not scamming, I think she got it wrong anyway, but
She had a podcast also.
and she ended up asking people to invest in some sort of cryptocurrency.
Oh, yeah.
And it all crashed and a lot of people lost their money.
Yeah, but the crypto scams are quite popular. Also,
Yeah, but she used her fame to get people to do it, you know? So it's
True.
about getting the attention, getting the notoriety.
is it important to be self-aware?
Absolutely. If you're not self-aware, how are you supposed to live? Like, I don't know any other way to live.
Is it like a balance between Delulu and self-awareness?
I think the way you should live life is be delulu enough to know
Oh,
that,
Gokul telling people how they should live their lives.
hey, I'm not a life coach by no means, but
But hire me anyways.
hire me anyway. Personally, I think you should be delulu enough to believe anything you put your mind to will come together and will happen for you, but also be self-aware enough to realize the restraints around it. So you don't overshoot and over exert on things that will not happen,
Yeah.
but you're putting in work for things that may happen and have the likeliness to happen.
So, do you think like when you have goals, is that like your delusion? Because it's not real, right?
I'm a very realistic person.
Bruh.
Because okay, we're not talking about romance, we're talking about life.
Okay, about
With-
life.
Yeah, because with romance, it's a whole
is
different thing.
Part of life.
Yes, but if we're talking about personal Gokul and professional Gokul, they're two different beasts. Because professional Gokul is very realistic, he's very logical, he thinks of every little detail, and he is very self-aware. He's very self-critical.
Would you say it's like you're a perfectionist?
I am definitely a perfect. I think
Okay.
you are too, aren't you?
Yeah, of course. I'm just.
You just wanted that segue.
I just wanted to say. I just wanted you to say that you're a perfectionist. So-
I am a perfectionist and I pick apart everything I do.
Yeah, true. it's a self-awareness speaking. So self-awareness is more into your professional life
Yes.
than
If we're talking about romantic life, it is delusion all the way. Okay. It is 100% delusional. I'm
Are you
trying
a
to be.
romantic?
I am a
You're
romantic.
a hopeless romantic?
I'm a hopeless romantic. Because I was in a long-term relationship, so I kind of know what to expect and what you can get out of a good relationship. And being single kind of reminds me of all the things that I miss.
Yeah, but I think like when you're being single, you can feel your romantic side even more because you can date a bunch of people and see how it like works out.
I get that, but you do realize I live in Latvia, right? So dating here is a ball game that is different from any other.
Yeah, because you know when you're in a relationship, the romance dies. You know, you already have each other, so you don't date as much. You don't expect.
What do you mean you don't date as much? You mean you don't go on dates as much? Okay.
So it's not as exciting. When you're single, it's exciting all the time.
Yeah, but the ups and downs are so big though.
Yeah, true. But it's exciting.
It is exciting. I will admit that. Lately, it's been getting very exciting.
So, okay.
Okay. I'll spill. Okay, so I went on a first date a few days ago, and
Yay!
Thank you. It's been a while. We were supposed to go to a Converse shoes event that was happening in Riga. We ended up in the wrong place. We went up this place called Oratoria in Riga. Oratorio in Riga, and it's like a little theater. And they also have clothes inside.
Yeah, I know the owner, Rezia?
Rezia
I don't know if she's
Kalninya.
Yes.
Because the female declination.
Yeah. I know, I don't know if she's an owner, but I know that she's a main stage director for them, so.
I went there because I accidentally walked in there. That was not the place we were supposed to go to. And the guy I was on a date with just walks into the boutique after 9 p.m. Everything's closed. And he just says, hi, to somebody in the distance. And I can't see who this is, right? And I'm like, this is my first impression of this man. I'm like, okay.
Wait, you met there?
No, we met earlier. We walked there. So we've
Okay.
been together for about 15 minutes before this happens.
Okay.
And he just says hi. And Rezia Kalninya was there. She walks out. She sees him, and I don't know what happened. She starts dressing him. She in like their bare clothes, and they were walking around putting on character skits. And I am standing there wondering what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
And me and her assistant were standing there looking at each other and looking at them and being like,
What the hell is even that?
what is happening right now? Because again, it's past 9:30. We are there and they are vibing. They've never met each other. They met for the first time now. And
Were they talking English?
yeah.
I didn't know that she talks in English.
Rezia's English is good. It's not like too bad. So there was a little bit of a communication gap. But I don't know how artists work because they were communicating in more languages than one. And yeah, they were dancing.
Energy language.
Yeah, they were dancing, acting. It was a whole thing. And that's how it went.
So Oratorio, they have a space there. They have
They have a stage there. They
Okay.
have.
I've never been there, so
Yeah, they have a theater stage there. They have a little area where they have all the props and costumes, and then they have the boutique inside. It's actually quite cool. And
Can you just randomly go in and?
do not listen to me and randomly go in there and try to meet Rezia Kalninya. That's not a good idea. We just got lucky.
Yeah.
And I think you need to be invited. The door was just open, so we just went in.
Yeah, you confused.
We confused the venue.
Event venue, yeah. Amazing. So he was just vibing with Rezia, and
He was delusional enough to walk into a boutique after hours and think he can make friends, and it worked.
and he did.
And he did.
Yeah.
So now that he's made friends with Rezia Kalninya, we got invited to one of her shows at the National Theatre, and we're actually going to see the show. And it's actually quite insane that it just happened like that. So sometimes delusions pay off.
Yeah, you don't know how the night is going to end. So
Actually, with this man, I don't know anyway what's gonna happen. So I'm in for a ride, I guess.
so you see, it is exciting.
It is exciting. Okay, okay. I've just become Latvian, guys. Like, I don't get excited very easily.
Oh, that's a whole another topic. Like, do you feel Latvian or Indian?
That is a very good question because I actually feel very torn in between. Because when I go to India, my parents, my family, friends, everybody's like, why are you not talking? Like, why are you so silent? This is not the Gokul that we sent to Latvia. What happened?
And you're like,
I'm like, I have nothing to say. Like you didn't ask me anything. I've become silenter. I've become calmer, I feel. And I need to hang out with more extroverted, high energy people so I get that energy back.
oh, yeah, because Latvians are quite cold and
You're not a typical Latvian by any means.
yeah, I'm a half Estonian or whatever.
Or whatever.
I don't know. Haven't done the DNA test.
That's another episode, guys. We'll do a DNA test and find out.
Oh my god, we should do, like, do you know the ancestry test that you have? I don't know. Probably for you is gonna be like Indian.
Hey, British colonization happened. There could be some white gene somewhere on the back. You never know. So, Brigita, when we talk about being Delulu, has anybody's Delulu ever annoyed you?
Hell yeah. Some people really have to be like self-aware. I'm sorry, but like it is cool that you're very Delulu and you're successful and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's really hard to talk with those people. It's really hard to have a conversation because they're really in there. I don't know if it's like an ego thing or whatever, but sometimes I'm like, I wish I was this. In Latvian we say like it's you have birds in your head.
How do you say it in Latvian?
Putni galva.
Putni galva.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has so many birds. Viņa ir ar putniem. Viņa ir ar putniem. So
See, when you say Putni galva, the only thing I remember is like when Tom and Jerry fight and then Tom gets hit and then there's birds running around his head.
oh yeah, yeah. It's quite similar.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually it makes sense. So like you're meeting someone and you're like, oh yeah, she has some birds in her head. And in a way, I'm so jealous
Why?
because I don't know. It seems like their life is so easy.
Because they're not aware of what's happening.
It seems like they're just living.
Actually, I completely agree with you on that. Ignorance is bliss. The less you know, the happier your life is.
Yeah, but it's also annoying because what the hell? Like, you don't want to hang out with those type of people. At least I don't want to hang out with somebody who's like, like, I don't know if those
I'm
people.
gonna clip that so hard.
Have you ever met a person that's like that?
Very Delulu.
Like very like.
Yeah, I'm living in my world. Everything is nice.
I've met people who are living in their own world and who just isn't.
Not as a mania episode.
No, that's a different story. I actually have a story about that. So I went out with a guy, right? He was living in a very fancy apartment and he didn't seem to know exactly what rent if like for others would go for because he was paying a lot of money. But he wasn't like obnoxious or anything. He just didn't know, but he was willing to kind of understand. So he was kind of living in his own world where he was like doing his own thing, but he was also, I would say, the balance between Delulu and self-aware. He's definitely slightly delusional, but also self-aware.
So would you say rich people have different kind of Delulu than regular
I think
ones?
so, because
Because
the
I
richer
was-
you are, it's different.
Because I was thinking about like the person that's actually like weird in the sense that they're very confident, but also like it's really hard to be around them because they're so weird and so unaware of the things that happen. But like rich unawareness
It's a whole different
is a
thing.
whole another thing, I think. It's the same thing as you talked about this Gwyneth Paltrow.
Paltrow.
It's because she's so rich it's not Delulu. It's almost like living in a different world, but, but in a sense of finances. But like living in a different world with birds in your head.
Birds in your hair.
Oh, they really do go in your hair!
Birds in your head. That's a different thing.
So there's this Instagram creator, that's all I'm gonna say, has not a lot of following, not a lot of engagement, a very small creator who made a video about PR packages being sent to creators not being like a valid marketing tactic, and nobody wants to see you unbox anything, and companies shouldn't be sending out PR packages and stuff. And I'm like, okay, like what is this, the validity of this particular opinion?
Yeah.
Like what is your experience being an influencer, or what is happening? Like where is this coming from? And I feel like there's a lot of people, especially online, who talk about things that they have no freaking clue about. A lot like us. A lot like us. But they exist.
Don't take any advice from us.
Oh, please don't.
So, yeah, let's say that. Being a creator, I wanted to ask you, have you ever had this, I don't know, video idea or sponsorship idea that you thought like, oh, I'm not gonna post this because this is ridiculous, this is Delulu? Or have you had? Because yeah, a sex shop invited me for their podcast.
Okay.
And I was like, no, like that would make no sense for me to do.
Okay.
So I'm like, if I were Delulu, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, but you're an opera singer, and your whole thing is about like being classy
Yeah.
and regal.
Yeah,
and
so it
everything.
makes no sense for my image.
Yeah.
Have you ever had
I
that
actually
type
got I actually got this request on my Instagram DMs about a music video or something, and there was a role called Pussy Man or something, and
For
they
you?
for me, they asked me, they were like,
gayest
are
person
you
in Latvia?
they were like, are you interested in this role? And I'm like, no, I am not doing that. It makes no sense for
So
me.
your self-awareness actually saved you from
There you go. Thankfully, it was not boys, because if it was boys, that would be a different situation.
By the way, has your Delulu ever led you the wrong way?
When I was a child, in my school, we have this thing where in the 4th grade, you become a leader of the first 4 grades. So you're like the representative of all 4 grades in like big school functions.
Okay.
And I was the representative for all the 4 grades. So it was like
Yeah.
a big position. I let it get to my head. I was, again, at 4th grade, how old am I?
4th
Like
grade.
9? 8, 9
You're
years
like,
old?
oh, I'm so cool.
I thought I was the
Okay.
I thought I was like the coolest. I was like some diva, and I was very, let's say, delusional, and thought the world revolved around me. And one of my teachers put me in check. She actually sat me down and she was like, "Who do you think you are?" And gave me a good
Who do
talking
you
to.
think you are?
And yeah, she gave me a very good talking to, and that was actually very much needed, because that kind of centered me, and I've lived by that ever since. Because no matter how big you think you get, or how big people make you feel like you are, you always need to look at who you are first
True.
and lead with that.
True.
You
That's very
never let it get to your head. It was very embarrassing in the moment. It was like I was crying. It was a whole thing, but I really needed that.
well said, Gokul. I wanted to tell you a story about like sometimes you have to be very Delulu to perform. I have a story. First story is that I am too self-aware. By the way, I'm too self-aware. I need to get Delulu ASAP. Like
You need to get Delulu ASAP.
ASAP. I need to get Delulu ASAP.
Continue.
I need to get Delulu ASAP.
You need to get delusion as soon as possible.
Delusional.
Okay.
I need to get delusional because
But you are very delusional.
No. Listen. One time I was singing, like years ago, I was singing in this concert in some small town, it's whatever. And I didn't hit the high note.
Okay.
And instead of being delusional and being like, haha, it's whatever. I'm the best. I started to cry on stage.
What?
I started
On stage?
Yeah, and then you never do this, guys. Never, ever do this. I said sorry. I said like, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm the worst. And I was crying on stage.
How long ago was this?
It was like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. I just started performing, so I didn't know better. But like, oh my God, that's why I'm saying I need to get Delulu ASAP. I've gotten better over the years. It happened 2 days ago, by the way. I didn't tell you.
Okay.
So, I'm doing this kids thing, like I'm
Yeah.
doing for children in Latvia.
But they don't know, so you have to explain.
Yeah, I am performing for a show together with extremely talented singer Toms Kaldarauskis. We're performing all around the schools in Latvia. It's for children aged 11 to 19. So it's like, teenagers, basically. So 2 days ago, we had a show in... should I call them out? Okay, I should. We had a show in Baltic.
Okay.
It's near Riga. And turns out that like in their school hall, they can connect their phones to the speakers.
No.
And we need speakers because we're doing a show, right? So the whole time, children were playing like, tung 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 sahur. And yeah, like songs. And you need to be Delulu at that moment. Like you really have to believe in what you do on stage because you cannot like give them any attention, by the way. You don't get to say, shut up or whatever. But like the teachers were like yelling at them and everything. But how can you know who's playing at what time, right?
Yeah.
So the show was falling apart. And by the way, in the audience, we had Lena Shomase. She's a very popular singer in Latvia because she's also a part of the show. She's in videos that we have in the show. So she wanted to see a show. It was the worst show we had.
And she was there for
And
it.
she was there for it.
Oh my God.
And it was so embarrassing. And Tuams actually, he got like very heated. And he said...
Do you have any respect for us, guys?
And I was like...
Like he told, like to the students.
To the students.
Oh my God.
I was like, shut up. Just do your job. Because we want to be paid, right? We're also like actors, singers. We have to believe in what we do at the moment. Like you cannot go outside. Of course, if you have a nice interaction with the audience, that's different.
Then you can play with them, yeah.
That's different. But like in that moment, I realized, oh, this could be the same situation as I did when I didn't hit the high note. I could be like crying and I could be like, shut up, you guys. Can somebody disconnect the phone? Because it was like, truly, it was so embarrassing.
But did you actually end up finishing the thing? You did?
We finished.
Okay.
In between the songs they were playing, and we couldn't hear our own songs because they were playing on top. Yeah. It was it was terrible. It was terrible. I think it's the most traumatic experience on stage that I ever had because I felt so embarrassed. I felt so bad that I'm on the stage, and it almost I know it's not like very personal because, children, when they're like 15, 16, it's all about them. It's not about anybody else. So it's not about us, but like in that moment I felt like, so nobody cares about me. Nobody cares that we're on the stage. Nobody cares about my singing. It felt really embarrassing to be there. So if I was Delulu enough, I would be like, oh, it's their fault. In that day, we also had 2 more shows in a different town. And when we were in a car, we're so shocked. I was almost like crying. Like, I'm like, I don't want to do this ever again. I don't want to go on stage and feel like that because it really messes up with your ego, right? Somebody is like laughing at you. They're like, you're a part of the joke. So yeah, traumatizing. Trauma sharing.
This actually reminds me when I was in high school. I still dance. So when I was in high school, I was also dancing. We were in this competition and our group was on stage and they played the wrong mix. So we had two mixes that we changed like a week before, where we changed the sequence of the songs a little bit. So they played the old mix. So it started the same way. That means we started performing. And when we started performing midway, we realized the sequence is wrong. And there was one girl on stage with us who was so delulu. She didn't realize anything changed. She just went. She just kept going. She did the full sequence, even though it was off sync, it was off beat, and we all stopped dancing.
That works. See, that works. So, so she performed.
She performed until she realized everybody stopped dancing.
Have you been bullied in school?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I was bullied about my singing.
Really?
So that's why I'm like, maybe that's why I don't have the delusion that I could have had, you know?
The thing is, I feel like the more you're praised or the better you do in high school, the more delulu you become out of it. And the more you go through in high school, the more grounded you become. Because, for example, most of my friends were younger. They were in lower grades than me. I was always on stage. I was always acting, dancing. I was hosting events and all these things. But I never vibed with the people that was in my grade. I had very few friends. But all my juniors loved, they adored. So I never understood.
Younger people?
Younger people. So
yeah,
I never
for me
understood.
as well, by the way. For me, it's the same. Like the people that were in lesser grade had connections with me, and they were my friends. But like the year that I was in, and especially the older guys from the high school, they were bullying me so hard about my singing, about my style, because I was emo kid, by the way.
What? I
was
would
an
never
emo
guess that. You were an emo kid. I couldn't express style in school
Yeah,
because we had to
true.
wear uniforms.
Oh, you had uniform.
Yes. So in India, most schools have uniforms. So I wore uniforms. And also, we're only allowed to wear like our clothes like once a year, like once or twice a year. One was Children's Day and one was at the end of the year when
What's
you graduate.
Children's Day?
That's an Indian thing. Like we have a Children's Day celebration.
Children's Day.
Yeah.
What do you do on Children's Day?
Children just dress up and go to school in colorful outfits because they get to only wear uniforms throughout the year.
I asked you because I participated in a school talent contest, and I was singing some Avril Lavigne. Do you know Avril Lavigne?
I know Avril
Okay.
Lavigne.
So I was singing her song with a guitar. And I remember from that time, oh my God, I can't sing. I can't do, because everybody told me. And so I believed everyone. So I think when you don't get bullied, it's not like bully advertisement at all.
Oh, please. Bullying is not good. Do
Bullying
not
is
bully anybody.
not good. Teach self-awareness. Teach self-awareness. That's a different thing. But I was bullied so much, so that's why I'm not delulu enough. You know? So the kids that were like living in their deluluness, delusions. If they were living in their delusions, they were performing better, and they believed in what they did, right? Because if you get to perform in a school talent contest and you're like, oh, I'm good, I think, and you're like, because the singing was great, actually. I have a clip of it. It's good. Singing is good. Also, playing guitar is good. It's just that I was bullied for whatever reason, but at that time I thought it's because I'm singing. It's because of me, you know? So, yeah, also embarrassing moments on the stage.
Actually, one time when I was in school, we had auditions for like this big event that was happening in school for dance thing there.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm in every performance. Everybody knows me. I'm definitely going to be on it. And I skipped the auditions. I was like, I'm going to be on it anyway. Like, that was like delusion, like
Overboard.
overboard. I was like, everybody knows me. There's no performance without me. So I skipped the auditions. I showed up the next day and I was like, hey, I couldn't come to the auditions. Like, can I maybe audition now or can I make the team? And they were like, we will let
No.
you know. And then they were kind enough to just say, we will let you know. And then later said, no, we already filled all the spots. And I was like, wow. So sometimes you need to get your ego checked in order to ground yourself, because we've all had moments where we were delusional enough to think that we are better.
Yeah, I guess.
Have you ever been like that?
No, I don't feel better
So
than
you're just
everyone.
making me feel worse now.
Yeah. Okay, narcissist.
Moving on, let me ask you a
Moving
question.
on.
Do you think a healthy relationship has a level of Delulu in it, or no?
That's a strange question. I think not. I don't think so. When you have a healthy relationship, the person knows you. I don't think in a healthy relationship you have a delusionist. I don't think so.
The reason why I'm asking you this question is because lately when I broke up, we had a discussion and I realized that my perspective of the relationship was not at all his perspective of the relationship.
So you didn't have a healthy relationship.
Are we
That's it?
doing therapy over here? No,
That's
it was healthy in the sense that we were happy and
Because-
everything, but the way I perceived things to be were not the same way he perceived them.
Well, that's why you have deep conversations with your partner. So you get to be in their shoes and understand the situation. Because I'm talking with my boyfriend all the time about and sometimes I do a crazy argument or crazy statement from my side. And then he tells his side. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I sit with the thought. And I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. Even yesterday, I was watching Sex and the City, season 3. So Carrie was drinking, and then she was having an argument with Big. Have you watched Sex and the City? Oh
it's
my
before
god!
my time. Sorry,
My god!
I am. It's before my time. I haven't watched Sex and the City. I grew up on Gossip Girl. If any of you love it, I love you.
I love Gossip Girl also.
I'm obsessed with that show.
Anyway, imagine Serena, just older, Carrie. So that's Carrie. She got drunk. She was also drinking a Cosmopolitan. She calls Big, her boyfriend. They had an argument and she was drinking and saying, you never listen to me. You always go to Paris. You always have your work and blah, 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 blah. And I'm watching this and I'm like, come here. I asked my boyfriend to come here. I'm like, look, this is me. And he's like, yeah. And the other and they were having an argument over the phone, but we usually have it
Face to face.
face to face, and this is what happens. And he's like, yeah, but afterwards you always come to the conclusion that you're crazy. And I'm like, yes, exactly, because I'm self-aware.
So you're Delulu in the moment, but you're self-aware
Yeah.
enough to realize
Yeah,
the Delulu behind it.
that's the most acceptable version of Delulu in a relationship, because if you see things from different perspectives, of course we have different perspectives, we're individuals, right? But in general, you have to have in-depth conversations. You have to know their perception of things.
Professional Gokul is extremely self-aware because I'm first of all, I'm in Latvia. I'm not from Latvia. I have a skin tone that usually comes with some prejudices or racial biases or whatever. Then you add the LGBTQ part on top of it. And it's you're in a place and you have to be the representation that doesn't exist. So I feel there's a lot of
You have
pressure that
to
I put on myself.
overperform.
I have to overperform and I put this pressure on myself to be a representation of Indians or
Yeah,
of
but-
immigrants.
Yeah, I understand, but honey, at the end of the day, you're yourself. That's it.
I feel I am myself, but I put that pressure on myself too. to overperform.
So you have to bring your self-awareness into your other Gokul life, that's romantic life, and you have to bring some Delulu-ness of the...
To my...
Yeah.
Thank
So
you
you
for
can-
this therapy, Dr. Brigita.
Come again. Oh, you're so warm. I'm sorry, I'm so cold.
At the end of the day, Brigita, do you think Delulu is the SOLULU?
For me, yes.
So
For other
guys,
people, maybe no.
So Brigita says Delulu is the SOLULU.
Yeah.
For me,
For you?
I think, just like you said earlier, a healthy balance of Delulu and self-awareness may be the SOLULU.
Yeah, you have to become one, by the way. You can't be the romantic Gokul and professional Gokul. You have to become one, right?
I have to find balance.
Yeah, true. Sometimes in life, you're gonna encounter some people that are so Delulu, but you can take that Delulu from them, and especially when you're self-aware, and realize that, hell yeah, we only live once. Hell yeah, be Delulu, but be self-aware also, guys, because as we've noticed from our conversation, sometimes you have to be self-checked, right?
You have to be checked in order to ground yourself. So guys, sometimes when you meet people who are extremely delusional, you might need to take some of that energy into your life to balance your self-awareness. And sometimes if you meet people who are extremely self-awareness, give them a little delusion, give them a little bit more ease, and let them find that balance themselves.
Yeah, true.
So we've talked forever today, and we'd love to wrap this up. Do all the YouTube things, subscribe, share, comment, and share with us if you've had some extremely delusional moments. And if you're on Spotify, then, do all the Spotify things. I don't even know what they are, but...
You can like the episode for sure.
Yes, please like it.
And subscribe to our channel.
And until we meet again.
Ciao!